Infidelity is the action or state of being unfaithful to a spouse or another sexual partner. 57% of men and 54% of women have admitted to committing adultery. These numbers are probably on the conservative side since more than half of marriages end in divorce. Infidelity is also becoming a lot more common under the age of 30. Many experts believe that the increase in infidelity is due to more opportunities. The initial decision of infidelity is not usually one that is a rational choice. Most people do this accidentally or just under different circumstances. And people who have admitted to committing infidelity or cheating say that at first they were surprised and shocked by their own choices. Men ages 50 to 54 and women ages 40 to 49 are the most common age group to commit adultery, and surprisingly 60 to 75% of couples who experience infidelity stay together.
We asked students on campus to take our survey. We asked them 2 questions. Who do you believe to be more likely to commit infidelity, and have you been personally affected by infidelity? Only 2 out of 21 students said they thought women were more likely than men, and when asked if they've been personally affected, almost half said yes. To talk a little bit more about her personal story, here's Cara.
Infidelity doesn't just affect one person, it affects everyone within the circle. When I was in middle school and high school, I was directly affected by infidelity from my father. So most of my life, I didn't know who my father was. I didn't know the man he was, and that caused a lot of hurt and wounds that were open. And eventually, because of the infidelity, it led to my parents' divorce, and it with a lot of hurt and healing through that moment, it really opened up me and my family's eyes to what God would restore in us in the future. And I think that even without the infidelity, I don't think me, my mom, my sister, we wouldn't be the people who we are today. And even though infidelity is very bad and it hurts a lot, there is blessing that can come from it, and we are far better off from that situation. And but people within the circle, just showing that the strength we have in that connection, it really just built up such restoration and love with it, between the 3 of us. And I think that infidelity kind of made us stronger within ourselves, within God, and within our relationships. So yeah.
There are studies that show that men have significantly more sexual partners outside of their primary relationship and have more permissive attitudes towards sex outside of marriage and have a strong desire to engage in infidelity. However, other studies suggest that men and women's rate of infidelity are becoming increasingly similar, and they are not differing in terms of behavior. From the sociocultural perspective, women are expected to refuse sex or set the sexual limits within a relationship, and men are taught to be more aggressive in both a physical and sexual way. In a recent study, men found it more difficult to forgive a partner's sexual infidelity than a partner's emotional infidelity, whereas women found it more difficult to forgive emotional infidelity than men.
With 54% of men and 57% of women engaging in an affair, only 20% of divorces result from infidelity, and that just involves a ton of forgiveness. But with forgiveness, I think often people want to say that you just forgive and forget, but it is humanly impossible to forget, and the only one who can forget is our Heavenly Father. As he says in Jeremiah 31:34, he says, "I will forgive their wickedness, and I will never again remember their sins." So again, only Jesus is able to forget our wickedness and our trespasses. So when we say that we can forgive and forget, it's not possible, and it's important to remember that in infidelity. When you forgive others of their trespasses, it involves a lot of pain, and that pain will only diminish when you focus on the positive, and you focus on the positive by finding Jesus in that situation. If you are unable to forget and you are unable to forgive, it's important to set you and your spouse free in those situations. It's an incredibly difficult decision. In either way, you're making a very hard choice. You need to set your spouse free of the shame that they're living under. You need to set yourself free of the pain that the situation has caused. And forgiveness in the end is bred from acceptance. In Matthew 6:14 through 15, it says, "For if you forgive others' trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others of their trespasses, neither will the Father forgive you of yours." And I think that's really important. Either way, if you choose to leave or if you choose to stay, it will end in forgiveness, and that will also allow the Father to forgive you.